Hi, I'm Mike Massimino,
I'm Don Pettit.
and welcome to the
Inside ISS mailbag.
mailbag. This is a little bit different than what we normally do.
Yeah,
Don.
but this is a cloud mailbag.
We put out on my Twitter just a couple hours ago a request for questions, and
Have you gotten any?
Right, I'm Astro_Mike. I have lots of followers, or a lot of cool people, and they sent me back these questions.
Okay, let's
right.
do some
So
questions.
that's why we're calling this the mailbag.
The mailbag, right.
All right, so this is the first one. Comes from Benny, at RD Benny. You know who you are. All right. How thick are the walls of each module?
Oh, they're a tenth of an inch.
Are you serious?
Serious.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, but they're multi-layered, right?
Well,
'Cause they
no,
have
no.
to- what are
The
we talking
pressure,
about?
the pressure hole itself, the thing that actually protects you by keeping your atmosphere in, it's about a tenth of an inch thick.
That's not very thick.
It's not very thick.
So how do we avoid a hole when we get
Well,
it's thicker than that? Isn't it different layers to it? Or?
Well, the outer layers are the micrometeorite shielding and
That's
the
what I'm
multi-layer
talking
insulation
about.
and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
so how much is that? When I ask you how thick your walls are in your house, you tell me the paint layer? No, you got to go sheetrock and insulation. you know, that kind of
yeah. Oh, okay, so
All
the
right.
the paint layer
There
is,
we
they've
go.
got this really awful green paint on the inside.
Uh-huh.
It's an anti-corrosion aircraft kind
Yeah,
of thing
right,
for
right.
aluminum prep,
Yeah.
right? And then you got a tenth of an inch of aluminum.
Right.
And then there's some
That's,
like,
that's important because that's your pressure layer.
that's your pressure
That's
layer.
the
That's
thing-
what keeps you alive.
Yeah, that's.
And then they've machined this waffle pattern. So you have little ridges that are left. It almost looks like a waffle. I guess that's why they call it the waffle pattern, right? And that adds
It's like
extra
a Waffle House, the space station.
Yeah.
It's the Waffle House.
and that adds rigidity to the structure, and that's the pressure vessel.
All right, so now the actual aluminum on the inside, you're saying was a tenth of an inch, and then this thing must stand out at like a quarter of an inch or so.
Yeah, the little ridges of the waffle pattern could stand out maybe 3/8 to a quarter of an inch.
Okay, and then what do we got after that?
After that, you have all kinds of widgets and pieces of equipment that are bolted onto the outside.
Right.
And you may have a thickness of standoff about like so.
Right.
And then maybe you'll have some fabric over the top
Right.
of that, which is a thermal barrier. And then you'll have this sheet metal, sheet
On the
aluminum
outside.
on the outside, and that makes the micrometeorite barricade.
Right. So and then on top of that has like stickers.
Yeah, stickers.
You know, it says
Yeah.
NASA on it.
Yeah.
I guess not really stickers.
Yeah, or it says,
a European
you know,
Space Agency.
don't step here.
Yeah, don't step here, and there's labeling and
Yeah.
directions and stuff. Okay, so if you took it from the inside of the wall, where you're like, bang, I'm gonna hit my head, and the outside wall that's exposed to the vacuum, you've got what, about a foot or so? 12 inches?
Yeah, 12 inches.
All right.
It depends. It depends on.
But out of all that, it's interesting. A tenth of an inch aluminum is what keeps it.
Yeah.
So if a micrometeorite comes in, it's got to penetrate about a foot until it gets to the pressure barrier on the inside. And there you have it. All right, this is from Darren Franzen. This is more of a, kind of like your experiences kind of thing, Don.
Okay.
For both of us. Tell us about something completely unexpected that you learned or experienced in space.
Oh.
Completely unexpected.
Completely unexpected. Oh. I found out that you can gargle in space. I didn't think you'd be able to gargle in space because, how could, you have gravity. It keeps the gargle in your throat. You go,
Yeah, next thing you know, you got a
yeah,
problem.
but it turns out surface tension, wetting, contact forces, these things can keep whatever you're gargling in the back of your throat. You could still gargle when you're in space. I actually made a video of that.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
So, go ahead.
And so
Well,
you.
for me, the thing that I think was most unexpected when I was in orbit, my first flight, we were able to get email in space, and I found out my wife really was looking for a new house, and that's what she said. I think we should upgrade our house, and that's when I found out about it. Was completely unexpected, And of course, because I was in space and I was happy, I agreed to this. So we ended up looking for a new home when I got back. So what I tell all the spouses of astronauts are, if there's something, you've been telling your astronaut wife or husband that you want to go on a vacation, or you need whatever.
So this was planned. This was unexpected from her.
Unexpected from me. I had no idea.
Right, but she had planned this.
I don't know if she planned it or not, but she asked me at the right time because I was agreeable to just about anything.
Okay.
So when you want to strike when, if kids ask your parents for something when they're happy, and they're liable to say yes. So that was the unexpected thing for me. As far as like real space stuff, that was unexpected. You talked about gargling. I found out I couldn't whistle when I was doing a spacewalk. Did you ever try that?
Oh yeah, you can't whistle. The pressure is too low.
Yeah, you can't whistle. You can't whistle while you work when you're doing a spacewalk.
You can't.
You don't have enough pressure. When you whistle, you're vibrating the air molecules right outside your mouth,
making it turbulent.
Yeah, and that's what causes.
And you
the sound.
can't make the turbulence.
That's it. You can't.
It's too low pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like whistling while I work on the ground, but I found out I couldn't do that in space. So you found out you can gargle, and I found out that I couldn't whistle. Okay, this one comes from Anger Monkey.
Anger Monkey.
It looks like a very nice person here, but the name is Anger Monkey.
Okay.
Do you get much real downtime, or is every day tightly scheduled to get all the science and maintenance stuff done?
Okay. Well, we're scheduled for 12 hours a day, and we typically take 13 and a half to get the 12 hours of scheduled stuff done, and then outside of that, you're off duty.
Okay, so now you're off duty. If you look at your day, like I know there's 8. So for on shuttle, we had 8 hours of sleep.
Yes.
Right, and then there was I think like an hour and a half or so on each end of that, or 2 hours of pre-sleep and post-sleep.
Yeah.
Which gave you like 12 hours of 8 hours sleep, and then 12. So then it was a 12-hour day. So what are you saying on station for you? Does that include that 12 hours of downtime? Does that include your pre-sleep and post-sleep time?
Yeah. It's just, but they can label it whatever they want, but it's basically you work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You typically don't get everything done till around 8 p.m. and you don't have to be on call till 7 a.m. the next day, unless you have a malfunction or something, a fire alarm or whatever, and then you get up in the middle of the night.
So on space shuttle flights, we would get like off-duty time. We didn't get much off-duty time because on Hubble we did 5 spacewalks in a row each day, and we had a rendezvous a couple days before, a day before, and then so there really wasn't much going on. But we did get off-duty time at certain times. Toward the end of the mission, we get blocks of a few hours where you could take pictures and relax.
Yeah, station they don't give you off-duty time during the working day.
Hang on a second, Bob Cratchit. What about those weekends? Are you getting weekends off?
Yes and no. We are scheduled for about 6 hours worth of work on Saturday, and then maybe there's always something that spills over on Sunday. So you'll get call it one good day off on a weekend if something doesn't come up and take your time away. And we had something come up every weekend for a month in a row. Something came up and we didn't get a chance to have an off-duty day.
You don't get paid any overtime, do you?
Oh, we get $3 a day.
That's
extra.
not overtime.
Yeah, that's not overtime.
Incidentals, you get that whether or not. Yeah, that's okay. So if you wake, so in other words, how much time then? You had 8 hours of a sleep period, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what they put on the books.
Let's put on the books. You had 8 hours of a sleep period. And then you had and then you had how many hours on pre-sleep and post-sleep on either end?
Well, I just like to look at it. We're off by 8 p.m. We're on by 7 a.m. and you can do whatever you want.
You had plenty of time for relaxing. I would say, out of that. And more time on the weekends.
More time on the weekends.
You are very tightly scheduled, but you also have some time, usually before bed. And after you wake up, but mainly before bedtime was your time probably to relax before you went to sleep.
Okay, next question.
All right. This is a pretty interesting one. This is from James Moore. He asks, how often do astronauts take advantage of a partially emptied ATV, Progress, Dragon, MPLM, etc., as a place to get away and sleep? Like if you wanted to go on vacation on the space station.
You go on a camping trip, right?
Hey, I got to go somewhere. I need a break.
So you could sleep in the belly of the Dragon.
Yeah, is that what did you ever do anything like that?
I didn't sleep in the belly of the Dragon. I actually thought about doing it, but I figured it might rain or something.
So so if you need a quiet place to go to,
You could go to, there's a number of places you could go, but certainly going into ATV or going into the Dragon, those were the two vehicles we had, or even going into a Progress is certainly a way to get away from it all if you
and you've done that from
yeah,
time to time?
yeah.
To get some peace and quiet?
Well, station is so big, you can go all day working your normal job and hardly see anybody.
Right, so that's not
So
very-
you really don't need to go and get an escape. But if you want to go someplace particular, you could do that. The PMM is another place. It's our closet. You can go there and
That's like an MPLM that was converted,
yeah,
right, for
yeah,
long-term
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, so you didn't really have that on the shuttle.
yeah, you
There
were.
wasn't really
yeah.
a way to get away, because it was a smaller area and 6 or 7 people climbing around.
Yeah.
Floating around in there. So you could try to go in the airlock and hang out with the spacesuits or something, but
Yeah.
you didn't quite have that, so.
Now I'm going to put myself in ham radio mode because
Oh,
we only
no.
have a 10-minute pass, and we'll have 20 to 30 kids, and yet you don't want to leave some kids
Oh, so we're
out.
going to go quick.
We're going to go quick.
All right, we're in the, what do you call that? The lightning round. Who's
Yes.
got the egg timer? Go ahead.
From Jeffrey Taylor. Has anyone
Taylor.
considered designing a record player with an arm and a needle which can compensate for 0G? Short answer, no. Is there always a Dr. McCoy dedicated for medical help? No, they teach us if we don't have a doctor, we run through emergency medical training.
Right, and even if you do have a doctor, he may need help.
Yes.
So you got to know how to,
Yeah.
you gotta know how to help each other. On the shuttle flights, though, we had one medical officer and then kind of like a 1 or 2 assistants that went through the heavy medical training. On
Okay.
ISS, everyone's got to go through.
Okay, from Nick. And it says, what's going through your head right before liftoff?
Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. How about for you?
You're focused on your mission. You're focused on what's going to happen to keep your rocket happy so you can get into space. And then once you get into space, then you can think about the ambiance of being in space.
Right.
Okay, here's one. New Year discount, $20 off. No, that's not it. Okay, is there any place you would like to visit on the ground that you saw from space? I'd like to go to the Atacama Desert.
Where is that?
It's in Chile. It's a high altitude desert. It's great for doing amateur astronomy.
Right.
And the neat thing is you can be up there and you can see both the north and the south southern hemisphere stars at the same time and still be on Earth.
Nice. I would like to go. I've been to a lot of cool places. Never been to Antarctica.
You only see
Greece.
southern sky in Antarctica.
Yeah, you didn't get to see much of it. I've never been to Australia. How's that? I've never been
Okay.
to Australia. You have.
Okay, now here's one
But
from
we spent a lot of time flying over Australia.
From Saucy
I've never
One. Saucy One says, okay, weird question. Can you transport champagne into space? And if so, how does ISS gravity what does it do to it when it's uncorked? Well, I've never seen champagne in space or even any of the...
research proposal right
Hey,
there.
research grade champagne. I
Yeah.
wonder if you could get that. But anyway,
yeah.
I've never seen champagne in space. If you did happen to uncork it, I think I have a good idea what would happen.
What's going to happen?
Think rocket engine.
Kaboom! It's going to be propulsive.
It will be propulsive because the pressure will decrease, the gas will come out of solution, homogeneous bubble nucleation, and which means the volume of the liquid gas is going to be greater than the bottle, and so it's going to squirt out. It'll be a rocket engine.
All right,
It'll
so-
make a mess.
So like carbonated soft drinks.
Out of the question. Okay, what is your favorite, most important experiment being conducted on ISS? Okay, I think by far the most significant experiments on ISS are those that we do to ourselves to learn about human physiology, because being in a weightless environment is something we can't do on Earth, and it provides a physiological challenge unlike anything on Earth, and it's a new knob in which to see how experimental physiology works.
Right, and it can help with things like osteoporosis.
Yeah, that and
Other-
eyeballs.
yeah,
Because
well,
we're finding
right.
people from space station, about 70% of people that go to space station now come back with measurable eye retinal maladies. And so it's like, what's going on here? We haven't a clue. We're trying to figure it out.
Another area is material science.
Yes.
With all the,
Yeah.
because they can mix
Yeah.
materials different, because you don't have the gravity getting in the way, and they're able to answer a lot of questions in that area to come up with better materials for designing all kinds of all kinds of products that help us on Earth.
Is aspirin or any other kind of medication allowed on ISS?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got this huge mega medical kit. It's almost like a little pharmacy. And,
right.
and you got to think about it. You've got 6 people up there living away from real medical care for a long period of time. We have all kinds of stuff. We've got catheters, we've got chest tubes, we've got needles this long, we've got all kinds of medical drugs that we are either trained to use or we use them in conjunction with a medical flight surgeon on the ground if we have that kind of medical emergency.
Yeah, and you test all that stuff. Make sure first of all, if it's equipment, you want to know how to work it.
Yes.
But also the different a lot of the stuff you might not have taken, so you want to make sure that you're okay with the different antibiotic or whatever. For aspirin, though, I remember taking aspirin on spacewalking days to thin our blood out a little bit, make us less susceptible to bends. Does that make sense, Don? Do you remember doing that?
You take an aspirin. You take 1 aspirin before you get in your spacesuit.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So
standard
aspirin
protocol.
for sure, and lots of other stuff as well.
What's your plans for when you get home? I assume that
Today?
means from. Yeah. Well, let's see. I got.
When I get home. No, I think they
But
meant like when you're in space and you're going to come back.
Oh, when
what's the first thing you wanted to do, or that's again? Who did you want to see when you first got back?
my family.
Good answer.
And then the next,
what,
and
then
then Mike Massimino was right top of the list.
No, what did you want to do when you got back? What did you miss the most?
A hot shower, because remember, we're in space and we go for 6 months.
Maybe not. It would have been such a bad idea for you.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Maybe
So
I'll do one tonight too.
Yeah, okay. Well, all right. So hot shower. I miss pizza.
Pizza.
That's what I wanted. Yeah.
No. I bet you missed that deep dish Chicago style pizza.
I'm not the thin stuff from New York. No, I miss pizza, and that was about it, really. Good question. Ron asks, do you see flashes in your head while asleep?
Oh,
from
you
the
see
radiation?
you see flashes in your eyes. In your eyes. I mean, a cosmic ray, a galactic cosmic ray will go zing, and it'll.
See it in your head.
Yeah. You don't.
I don't see any flashes.
Yeah,
Good.
but it hits your retina, and it'll actually fire one of the rods or cones, whatever it happens to hit, and you'll see a flash, even though there was no light there to see, but there was this energetic particle.
Right.
And the neat thing is if a particle goes tangential to your retina, you'll see a trail. If the particle goes straight through your retina, you'll see just a little dot. So you can actually see some direction to the cosmic rays by virtue of whether you see a line, trail, or whether you see a little dot.
Did this happen? How often did this happen to you when you were...
It's probably happening all the time, but you have to have sort of quiet circumstances in order to notice
like when you're going to bed?
Yeah, so you're just floating in your
How
sleep
many times
station.
did you notice it?
Oh, probably once or twice a week.
Once or twice a week? Okay. So
yeah, so you're dozing off.
Because I had it happen to me once.
Yeah, and you're up at a high altitude, so you have more cosmic
rays. Yeah, but I
rays.
sleep. I usually close my eyes, and I could go to sleep right now. You ready? Right, so I don't
did you see a flash?
No, I didn't see it. I have a very short window to see anything while my eyes are closed because I'm out.
Right?
Oh,
okay.
But I did see it I remember one instance. But that makes sense. I've been in space for about a month, so I remember seeing it one time.
Okay, next question.
You don't want to hear about my story, Sigi, right away. As soon as I see you went over here, I had enough. Let's see what we got.
No, next question.
All right. This is from, this guy? Mordred Dragon Tamer. What that means. Maybe that's some kind of, what does that mean? The young guy over here's laughing. Did I just say something funny from The Hobbit that I don't know about? Okay, so the Dragon Tamer wants to know, oh my goodness. Mike, if you could hijack ISS and go anywhere in the universe, where would you go? And where would you go, Don?
Ooh.
If you hijack it.
Hijack it.
You ever think of doing that?
No, I wouldn't want to hijack it.
No, that wouldn't be good.
But if you had your warp drive,
how would you?
And you could go someplace else. I would love to go to Europa.
Why?
Because
which is a moon around Jupiter.
Yeah, and it's
from that 2001 movie, right? When they go to Europa. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, 2001. That's a good movie. But anyway, it's got this ice crust with potentially an ice ocean underneath, and it would be really neat to see what's going on in there.
All right, I know where I wouldn't go. No, I was going to say it'd be silly. Okay, if I could go anywhere with it, Europa, that would be a great place to go to. I still think Mars is where. I think first I'd start with the moon. But Mars, I think, would be a really cool place to go to, and it's a little bit closer. Europa's far.
Yeah.
Now, how much in scale-wise going between here and the moon's 250,000 miles away,
right.
so you're looking at a day and a half. Mars is about a 6-month trip, depending on where it is, right? In the sky. Europa, what are we talking about there?
Well, I mean, it's if you could do, I'm assuming if you could
get there quickly. You're not worried about how long. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can blink and go anywhere.
Yeah, I blink and go anywhere. I'd blink and I'd be at Europa.
I think that's an excellent choice. Everyone else would be going to Mars.
Yeah, you see.
You'd be over in Europa.
Yeah.
I think that's a great choice.
See, Mars would be so crowded, you wouldn't want to be there.
Especially during the holidays.
Yeah. Oh, is there anything on space that requires new etiquette?
New etiquette.
Yeah, new etiquette. Yes.
I think one thing that I noticed was you want to be really cautious or careful with your stuff. Because, like whether it's your food or what you're drinking or your socks or whatever, it can get away from you.
Yeah, it's impolite to spill your orange juice out of a drift over into somebody else's eye.
Right, exactly. So you've got to, I think the etiquette is that you keep your area neat. Yeah. And you don't let your stuff float around the cabin. Someone's smelly socket in someone's
and
face or something like
you don't leave a
that.
mess in the toilet.
That's also on the ground, Keep the bathroom clean.
How has the cupola altered the possibilities of photography from ISS? Well,
and your first flight was without a cupola, and your second flight you had a cupola.
Yeah, and cupola just is more windows. I mean, more windows are better if you like to look out at the universe and our world and you want to take pictures because it's such an amazing thing. And it's a means of collecting scientific data, because these pictures that we are taking are not just neat, pretty pictures, they're also scientific data. And we've recorded what's been happening on Earth over the last 13 years. And adding more windows are better. You have new directions you can see, and more windows are better. How about that? So these questions are really. I like this idea of a cloud mailbag that people could send questions in, and we could sit down from time to time and answer as many as we can.
This was great. Today is the first time we tried this mailbag segment where we're answering your questions that you sent to my Twitter, Astro_Mike. Thank you very much for doing it. They were great questions.
And so we'll shoot another one of these. Yeah. We'll have more questions. Keep them coming in. This is ISS
Mailbag.
The
ISS mailbag. All right, so we got another show.
Hey, maybe somebody will want to actually see one of these things.
Yeah, you and I, beside you and I. Watch this.